Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer. The game begins with an introduction from Cadence, followed by a flash from the Triforce of Power, and then Cadence falls from the sky. And her surprise isn't in wherever she is from. I'll be honest, I never really played the original Crypt of the Necrodancer. Anyways, Cadence is now in Hyrule, and after quickly clicking the Sheikah Slate and hopping through the tutorial dungeon, Cadence comes across two portals. One with Link and one with Zelda. Whichever one you jump through is the person your secondary player will be playing as. Now, I love multiplayer in video games. More specifically, I love local co-op. I summoned a cousin of mine from within the frozen heart of Canada just to help me destroy the pig demon that now plagued my Nintendo Switch. And it was completely worth it. Playing games like these in multiplayer fashion is the absolute best way to experience them. So go grab yourself a bloodbound companion that will not flee in the sight of oversized pork chops, and go get slaughtering. Two-player makes this game much easier when you're taking on enemies that you can't hit from the front, so just get your buddy to flank them and then you can double team them into that one void from Skyward Sword. However, co-op most certainly does not make this game easier when you have those miss one beat and you lose challenges, or as I like to call them, mobile challenges. However, I'll get to those in a minute. The Canadian originally chose Zelda, however in the gameplay it's Link, so just ignore that. Which means that we started in Hyrule Castle, beating our way through those scum-sucking Green Knight traitors, to the epic beats from across the Legend of Zelda Legacy. It goes without saying that the music is one of the best parts about this game, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is so good that the only way I can describe it is, you know how in Hyrule Warriors they turned the Legend of Zelda songs from our childhood into hard rock variations? Well, in Cadence they do sort of the exact same thing, except with a bit of a retro focus and some big bad bassy steroids. Well, except for when there's no enemies. Then it's smooth and jazzy, which is perfect because it not only allows you to relax from the stress of missing the beats of battle, but also allows you to enjoy a slower, calmer version of the same song you were previously slaughtering bokoblins to. Moving on to the dungeons, one might notice a severe lack of puzzles, which might confuse your average Legend of Zelda goer, but do not fret, for I will explain these incredibly simple dungeons to you. The dungeons are randomly generated rooms with enemies and traps everywhere. There is also at least one shop per floor and at least 1 to 2 trap rooms per floor, where you have to kill everything inside before you get the key. Do this 3 times and you will arrive at the boss. The first boss that we fought was the evil Wiz Robo. My advice for him, just don't stop moving or you will be frozen and that's not fun. Kill the bird, grab the heart, then the oboe, and keep on hopping to the beat. A pretty cool thing about this game is that the dungeons can be tackled in any order, which means that the dungeons are not focused around items. So whenever you come across an item chest, you can just pick and choose whichever one you want. If you suck at rhythm games, like I do, you might find yourself dying. A lot, especially near the beginning of this game. But do not fear, kindred soul who also can't keep a decent beat to save the universe. This game gets easier and easier the longer you play it. In the beginning of our adventure, we got game overs left and right, especially in the fight with the bass guitar most nights. No joke, we died to this big bassy boy at least 7 times before finally killing him, and it felt amazing! As I said before, this game gets easier and easier as you move on. Right after that incredible victory, me and the Canadians started searching for hearts and better weapons, which had us rapidly completing challenges. The challenges range from you need a special item to get across, to defeat all the enemies in the area, to the previously mentioned mobile challenges. The mobile challenges are definitely the hardest part of this game, and that is because you lose if you screw up even once. Miss a beat?
Failure!
Get love tapped by an Octorok?
Failure!
Forgot Canada was a real place?
Failure!
Although we failed a lot, I do like these challenges because it is a way to get good at the game without having to put the flow of the game to a screeching halt for 3 hours while I remember that the lightning scroll makes you kill things better. After we completed a few mobile challenges and enchanted our weapons, we didn't die. As long as we didn't just sit there for the bokoblins to slowly gnaw on our ankles until we died of laughter, because pig noses tickle. We beat the rest of the game, including Ganon, without meeting up with that fateful game over screen. Speaking of Ganon, let's not talk about him. Octavo is the fake boss of this game. Octavo has joined the ranks of Girium and Zant and I guess non-canonically Sia from Hyrule Warriors in the club of being Ganon's pawns. The only thing different about Octavo is he's not quite as interesting as the rest of the group. Unlike Girium, he didn't have that flashy demonic charm, and he's not cuckoo crap crazy like Zant, and he's not a total yandere like Sia. So he's just kind of bland. I'm not saying he has to fit into one of those personalities, I'm just saying he needs a personality if anyone is going to remember him. I mean, he doesn't even have a big why I am evil and what I am doing monologue like most villains. He just says, I wasn't good enough to beat him. Ugh. I would have liked to see him have his own characteristics, such as what if he was obsessed with music and was making the band out of the best monster musicians in all of Hyrule? Instead of just, my thing will definitely kill you! Fear the Wizard! He's not bad, but they could have had a bit more fun with him. Right before Octavo's nap of defeat, you enter Hyrule Castle with all the magical instruments. You're ready for the best concert Hyrule has ever seen, and then Ganon pops up, tells Octavo he sucks, and then teleports you to the future where Ganon has already won. Now it's your job to go and venture through that final dungeon and bring that overweight porker to his bitter end. You know what we all like? Boss weapons. And the final dungeon does not disappoint. Link gets a massive royal claymore that allows him to do an on-beat version of the heavy spin from Breath of the Wild. Zelda gets a magic rapier, and Cadence gets Impa's Sheikah Spear. These final weapons are awesome, and it makes our already invincible selves even more destructive. Not even the embodiment of power Ganon himself can stand up to the might of my BFS, my big loving sword! Speaking of Ganon, let's not talk about him. Again! Just kidding. The fight with Ganon is a lot of fun. When you enter the castle, Cadence pulls a total May and invincibles herself so that you, as usual, have to do all the work. Come on, Cadence. You came here to help, and then you just give me the cold shoulder whenever a pig demon pops up. Once Cadence stops chilling in the corner, you have to go fight Ganon, with one person breaking Ganon's shield and getting stunned, and the other person stabbing him in his soft, Malphashne-like belly. When you defeat Ganon, Hyrule is saved, Cadence goes back to her necro-dancing crypt or whatever like I said I didn't play the first game, and the screen comes to a close by thanking the player for grooving. Cadence of Hyrule Crypt of the Necro Dancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda, yes that is its full name, is a small game, but it packs every small bit of that game with pure immeasurable fun. That was an analogy. It's like doing a triple backflip at a rock concert and somehow landing it, or playing D&D with surround sound speakers as you slay 3 dragons. It's just awesome. I'm the Ninjaslammer, and he's a gosh darn Canadian.
This has been Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necro Dancer. Thanks for grooving. Yeah.